Hey there, Kelly here. So do you feel like you have sat just about everywhere there is to sit in your house since we've all kind of done these shelter-in-place orders? I can tell you that where I am here in Mexico, we are still very much closed. So there aren't a whole lot of extras open, if you will. There have been a few things that aren't necessarily essential, and some of the restaurants have opened with special protocols. But for the most part, we're still very much so kind of still hanging out in our houses. So since it's been, what, almost 4 months, you would think that we would all be accustomed to wearing our masks and being inside. But I always find it interesting when I hear people say, with regard to lupus, well, it's been 4 years. You should be used to that. And I think it's interesting that for the last 3 months, people have been angry that they've had to stay inside. They're angry that they've got to wear face masks. And y'all, it's been 3 months. You should be used to that, right? If you live in a place like I do where it's pretty much sunny all the time and it rains for too many days, we complain about it, right? It's not something we get used to. We gripe about it because we just don't like it. It's not cool for it to rain for 2 or 3 weeks in a row when the sun is usually shining. So I always find it interesting when people who are considered healthy say things about those of us who are battling our bodies, like, well, you know, it's been this long, you should be used to it by now. And I find that comical, especially now under the circumstances, because 3 months is long enough for people to get used to things. So I wanted to share with you guys how to have, I guess, a bit of compassion and to be able to put this in a way that now you can definitely, oh wow, I'm watching a bird chaser. Oh, he got him. He ate that butterfly. That don't make this butterfly feel good at all. You're mean. Anyway, I digress as I yell at the nature around here. I'm so distracted, y'all. Okay, focus, Kelly, focus. All right, so anyway, we should be accustomed to a lot of things, but we're not. So again, going back to the 3-month thing, the shelter in place, the wearing of masks, the washing of hands, which should have been happening anyway, but whatever, man. So my point is that you guys have only had 3 months of potential illness, of things that could tax your body in ways that you just are not interested in having it happen. But for those of us who are actually having it happen, and were having it happen long before the pandemic came along, this is our everyday life, every day, no matter what. But anyway, so because of the frustration of having to stay at home, you guys are really like, oh, I got cabin fever major, open stuff up. Well, we wake up in the morning, and whether it's open or not, we kind of end up staying in our beds, staying on our sofas, staying in a lot of places, if you will, sitting in every spot in our house, because our bodies won't allow us to go out even when we get invited to things and we really want to go. And you know, and this video is not to make you all feel sorry for us, not at all. I don't want anybody feeling sorry for me, because I'm gonna still get my groove on even if I got to get it right here in this chair. But it is to give you all a better base of understanding of what it is that we deal with, because our immune systems are so prone to nonsense. Our immune systems don't fight things off like everyone else's, like a healthy immune system does. So in airports and in grocery stores and in, you know, crowded places, it is always recommended that we wear a mask. Even before the pandemic came along, it was recommended that we wear masks. Now, I will tell you, the selfish part of me, is really excited that the world is wearing masks, because when I was in Southeast Asia, nobody paid me any attention. That's like par for the course there. But on this side of the world, when I would wear masks in certain places, I would get stared at or looked at strangely, or people, you could tell they were actively avoiding me. And now everybody's wearing a mask and I don't look like a weirdo anymore. So I'm happy for that. Yay! But again, these are things that those of us who are battling our bodies have been doing and will continue to do regardless of what status the world is in. These are things, protective measures that we have had in place no matter what. And as far as getting used to them, yeah, we can get used to wearing masks. I was already washing my hands. I can't say I was already washing my hands. And you might not necessarily see 50 years old here, but you would always see it here because these bad boys be dry as a Sahara. But but the other part of us not being able to get used to our illness, us talking about our illnesses, is because there's always something new happening. So, same thing, like you guys are getting new numbers on the COVID and it's kind of devastating. That's how we feel when we get a new diagnosis. So I may have lupus, but I also talk a lot about my lungs, that I've never smoked a day in my life, and courtesy of lupus, I now have a lung disease. Well, that lung disease has progressed into something else that creates an issue for me daily outside of just the coughing. And so, there's always something new happening. There's things that the medications do that are causing new problems, and those problems are not making me a happy camper. And so there's always a new diagnosis, a new ailment, a new symptom, something new to cope with. And I didn't get sick last, 4 years ago, and then that was it. I got sick 4 years ago, and then there was something new, and then something new, and then something new, and then something new. So you don't get used to it. And so since you guys are now in a position where you can more fully relate because of the pandemic happening, I just figure this might be a time when I can appeal to your compassion, to be more understanding of people. You have no clue what they're going through. You don't know why they are doing what they do. I've said this so many times in so many of my videos, for people to mind their own story. You really only have the cover to cover and all the words, paragraphs, chapters, and the whole 9 yards on the life you're living. So have some compassion. Anyway, that is it for me today. If you have not hit the subscribe button, please do. If you want to support the channel, I've got links below for different things that you can do to support my channel. You can subscribe. That would be amazing. You could also hit that thumbs up button. That too would be amazing. But I also have an Etsy store down there where I sell lupus awareness things. And I've recently started diagnosing. I ain't diagnosing nothing, y'all. Designing adult coloring books, and I'll put a link to that below as well, so you can get your relax on, girl. All right, guys. I'll see you next go round, and thanks for watching.